So when I do their food, their plates are over here, left of the sink. Daisy gets the red one, Henry gets the blue one, and they've come accustomed to having real chicken put in with their, or turkey put in with their dog food. So there's some in the refrigerator, or in the freezer there's these bags here that are frozen. You can take some out a couple days ahead of time and defrost them and then put them in the refrigerator. Again, make sure that their water bowls are full. Grab their plates, the red one for Daisy, the one for Henry, and put the water bowls down so they have something to drink. And we'll chop up some chicken and put in their dog food and we'll feed them. So again, your food will be in the refrigerator here or in the pantry over here, and there's a whole stack here, and in these bins. Henry gets the reduced weight, it's in the green can, and Daisy gets the chicken and barley entree typically. Now they get picky sometimes, and there's other flavors in here and you can mix them up, but if you're going to do that, you have to mix some of the chicken and some of the other one in with it so there's not a drastic change, or they'll have an upset stomach. So I've got a few chunks of chicken on their plates that I'm going to cut up and mix in with their dog food. So now I've cut up their chunks of chicken or turkey into smaller pieces, and I'm just going to add a spoonful of each into each one. Henry again the weight management, and Daisy the chicken and barley. So there I have, I've mixed the dog food in with the chunks of turkey or chicken, and I go and get Henry's thyroid medication and make a small meatball with the pink pill. So make the little meatball for Henry's thyroid, put a little bit of chicken on there, and just set it aside on the side of the plate. Make sure again that Daisy does not get Henry's thyroid medication or her heart will race. So if Henry's here in the kitchen with you and you want to give him the meatball with the thyroid pill, he'll usually eat it right up, and then you don't have to worry about Daisy getting the pill by accident. Every so often you may notice that Daisy has a stiff shoulder, or she's kind of dropping her left shoulder, or she just has a sore shoulder, or she sleeps on it wrong and gets a pinched nerve on it. So there is medication in here for Daisy called Carpofen, and she gets half a pill if it looks like she is limping or dropping that shoulder, but I use it sparingly. It's only if she looks like she's in pain. Other than that, she'll still wrestle and run around with it. It just doesn't really bother her. But in case you notice that, you know, a couple days have gone by and she's limping a lot, just give her one of those, and it's an anti-inflammatory, like a, you know, an Advil for us, and it'll do the job. Thanks. So put Henry's medication away. I grab their placemats from underneath the baker's rack and grab their plates and bring them into the TV room, and the dogs will follow us. So there we are in the TV room. Put down a placemat for Henry, placemat for Daisy on the other side, and then put down Daisy's food. She'll take a while to eat. Put down Henry's food. He'll gobble it up in about, I don't know, 30 seconds. There they go. But you can't walk away. You kind of have to sit on the couch and watch them eat, because Henry will steal Daisy's food every time if you walk away, because she has kind of ADD about food. Daisy will have to be reminded to eat. Come on, girl. Good girl. Because she'll walk away and come back, and walk away and come back. And Henry hovers by, always watching to see if he can steal her food. So this was one of the mornings where Daisy only ate about half of her food. So we're just gonna it depends on how much there is. This is a lot, so I'll put it back in the can for later this afternoon. If it's, you know, just a few pieces, I'll just throw it away. So again, just put their placemats away underneath the baker's rack. Put the remaining food back into the can and then put it in the refrigerator for the next meal. Put Henry's thyroid medication away, and then I'll wash out the empty cans, and once they are washed out, they go into the recycle bin in the pantry. This one's the trash on the right hand side, the recycle's on the left. And again, there's a bunch of treats all over in the pantry, down here, up there, here. And right after they eat, typically I take the treat bags from the wire rack and put a handful down in the TV room for either one of them. So again, I come back into the TV room with the treats. One biscuit and one small one. Then I put about a handful of treats down for Daisy, the small ones, and a handful of treats down for Henry, not that quite that much. And then the biscuit ones, one of each. And Daisy really likes them. If she hasn't eaten much of her meal, she can have a couple more of the small treats. And I just go and put the bags back onto the cart, out of the way so that they can't jump up and get them. Plus, make sure that the water is always filled. They go through a lot of water. And then I just come back, do their plates, and put them away, and that's their meal time. So when I'm doing it, if there is food from yard food or whatever, there is a garbage disposal, and right behind the coffee pot is the switch for the garbage disposal. So I get the water nice and soapy. This right here is the dish detergent. If it runs out, then there's some underneath the cabinet, but this is usually full. That's enough to get it started and wash them real good, and then put them over into the rack. Put Henry's medication away, put these covers onto the cans, and then put them into the refrigerator down here. Late at night, sometimes they after their last walk of the night, they sometimes like to have something to chew on, and they have bully sticks in the freezer here. They're these long bully sticks, and what I typically do is just give them one each, and let them finish that. And if they are really bugging you for another one, you can give them a second one, but no more than that, because if they have too many bully sticks, then they'll end up with upset stomachs and will end up going to the bathroom in the house overnight. So that's something you don't want to do. But it keeps them quiet for a while at night, and they enjoy it. Now when you do open and close this pantry, with the rubbish and the recycling, the rubbish on the right, recycling on the left, you have to make sure that the door is fully closed and will not open up again, because Henry has learned how to get in there, and he'll get in the trash and get in the food and make a mess of everything. So don't leave any food laying around where Henry could jump up and get it, because he will eat it if it's out there, especially any of the bad stuff like chocolate, grapes, or anything like that. And by the way, you may come into the kitchen and turn on the lights, and they're dim. It's dim, and that means that the side switches have been pushed down. They just need to be pushed back up, these little slide switches, to make it brighter into the kitchen. It just happens when you shut it off, inadvertently push them down. So just push them back up and it'll be bright again. Typically this is their area here, where if they go to the bathroom, they'll go on the pads here. And if they if one of the pads are dirty, you just pick it up, and in the pantry down there to the right hand side, there is a container full of shopping bags, and you just grab one of the bags, put the pad into the bag, and then outside and to the left is the garbage room or the recycle room, and there's a trash chute in there, and I just throw it down the trash chute. I tie up the bag and throw it down the trash chute. Also in the living room, these boxes, they have a large green bag here with a ton of toys in it. So if they run out of toys or they're bored with the toys that they have, there's all these toys, all these bees and squirrels and lambs and rope toys and balls. It's all in this green canvas bag there. So when I take them out for a walk, Daisy gets the, come here Daisy, Daisy gets the prong collar, and you're going to make sure that the prongs are all in and it doesn't come loose. It just has the regular collar, and Daisy gets the red leash, Henry gets the blue leash. And in the morning I look through the peephole to see if anybody's out here in the elevator lobby. It's easier to take them down by themselves. Now, see, the prong collar just came off, so you're going to make sure that that is tight and on. So when they're on the leash, I try to cinch it up as much as possible. So what I do is I hold them about this far and have a couple of feet of leash so that they're walking right together. Come on guys. See, right together like that, my hand, so they're not getting out. See, Daisy will bark if there's other dogs around. So like I was saying, when we get on the elevator, I keep it cinched up and only like, you know, a foot or two of the collar on the leash. There are other dogs, she may bark like that. So that's why I keep her on a short leash by the elevator, because Daisy gets very anxious in the elevator. So if somebody else gets on the elevator, at the same time, you really want to keep her on a short leash and tell her to sit. You too, Henry. Sit. Sit. Stay. They should be good for the ride. She may bark, but that's why you need to keep a short leash. So, here we are. Gotten to the floor. You want to make sure that the door all the way opens and nobody's outside before you go, because Daisy has sometimes she rushes out of the elevator and it scares the people. And just go out the front door and we'll take a left to the garden park. Typically when we first come out, we just go right to the first tree. And Henry will do this stuff, Daisy might do her stuff. But again, keep them on a short leash in case anybody's walking by, especially anybody on a skateboard or a motorcycle goes by, because Daisy gets very anxious with that. Again, we're coming up to a crosswalk. They have to be on a short leash because cars will whip around this corner, and if they're in front of you, they may get hit. I've seen it happen. In fact, a dog got hit about 2 years ago because it was a few feet in front of the owner, and the car come around the corner, didn't see the dog. As you can see, today's a rainy day. If Henry doesn't want to come, or just put his butt down and become a dead weight, so you just sometimes get pulled along. But today's a rainy day. So in the spring, the park becomes one big mud puddle. So it's up to you whether you just want to go for a walk around the neighborhood or bring him into the park and then dry him off later on, or just walk down the sidewalk instead. Today I'm going to walk down the sidewalk and just go to the trees with them because I don't really want to get all the mud off of their paws and bellies when I get into the apartment again. It'll just be easier just to get the water off instead of the mud. On our walks, Henry will typically poop twice. and Daisy just once, and they'll both, pee a few times, and then the rest is really just exercise, out for a walk, wherever they really want to go, or I don't, take them off leash unless they're in an enclosed area like Peters Park or the Animal Rescue League's training area. So again, when there's nobody around, it's okay to have them, far off the leash, but you can see down there, there's people coming, trash people with a rolling trash barrel, and Daisy's getting anxious already. So we gotta tighten up the length of the leash. So typically they walk side by side together pretty well. And if they come by anybody, just keep them on a short leash, just in case. Daisy loves to steal people's gloves or scarves, so that's one thing you gotta look out for. And also at the crosswalks, of course, just make sure the cars are coming before you cross. Yeah, see, they just walking normal side to side. Comes another dog. Daisy's gonna get a little anxious, but that's fine. So again, we're coming up to the crosswalk. Make sure no cars are coming, but they're on a short leash. And they're coming up to the front door to go back into the condo. So here we are up at the front door. Here's the intercom. I have a proximity card in my wallet, which I'll give you. Tap it against the side here. It'll give you a few seconds to get into the door. Or of course you can use the key. And if anybody's coming the other way, you want to make sure that they can come out first. And then you go in so there's no barking at each other. We're at the elevator, short leash. Wait to see if anybody's on there. If they are, you might want to take the second one. And then just get on. And fifth floor. Here we go. So again, getting up to the fifth floor. Tight leash. Wait for the door to open. Don't let them get too close to the door. See if there's anybody waiting. Nobody's waiting. We can go out. And then we have to, since it was raining out, wash their paws, legs, and bellies. So I come in, and then I just put the leash down, usually step on it so they don't get away. Get the orange chamois out of here under the table. Do Daisy's legs and paws and her belly. Henry will try to run away. Step on the leash. Do her bellies. Same thing with Henry. And with Henry, we have to get one of the baby wipes out of here and do his bum. Make sure that it's nice and clean. Just lift up his tail. Grab his tail, lift it up. He's used to it. And just wipe. There's a little mess on it. You just wipe it so it doesn't get all over the place, because if you don't, he'll leave marks all over the house. Okay, so when you're coming in from go into the garage, you look at the remote with the lift master looking right at you, so you can read lift master. On the right will open the garage door. So when you're returning to the garage, it's right. When you're leaving, it's left. The button's at the top and the lift master's left. So down at the bottom of the ramp, you're going to take a left, and then you're going to take a right. And we'll park in space number 76 in the lower level. Keep taking rights, going down to the lower level, following the arrows to go the right way. If not, then you may run into somebody else that's leaving. Here we are on the lower level, and up here on the left-hand side where my Jeep is space number 76. So here's space number 76 where the Jeep is, right there, and it's just opposite of the up ramp to leave. So if you're looking from the space, that's what it looks like. So you'll just go right up to ramp to leave. Usually what I do is I pull up onto the ramp and then back into the space. It's a lot easier way to get out when you want to leave. Alright, so when you want to leave, you go up the left-hand ramp, go around the elevator lobbies. So right here, another right here, and then you'll be going out on the left-hand side onto Concord Street. And with the clicker, again with the buttons at the top and reading Lift Master, press the left button to leave. So it's right to return to the building to come in, and left to leave the garage. And then you just go up onto Concord Street, and that's a one-way. Take a left to get back out onto Washington. So after you've parked, and you've walked up the ramp, and you want to get back up to the condo, you come into the first elevator lobby. That's for the residences. The one on the other side by the ramps is for the Sultan Health Center. This door only works with the key. There's no key fob for this door. And then it's the two elevators, stop button, and to the 5th floor, or to the lobby. Using the dishwasher, once it's full, you have to open it up, and then you press normal wash, and then start. So if you press normal wash, start, close it up, you'll get a 99 plus, and it'll run for 99 minutes, and that's all you really need to do. It's pretty easy. The pods for it are under the sink right here. You just throw in the bottom of the down here, and close the door up, and it'll run. Now, if you're going to use the washer and dryer, it's in the utility room by the front door. It's the dryer on top, the washer on the bottom. And if you run it, usually the settings are going to be power, and then quick wash, and then start. Or if you have a big load, normally you can do power normal, and then just start. But what happens a lot is up in this window here, you may get an F20 or F28 error code. You have to power it back down. If that doesn't work, on the side here, you'll have to grab in and just kind of unplug a little bit, not all the way, just enough to lose power, and then plug it back in to reset it, and just close the door and just reset it and start it over again. It usually means that there were too many suds in there, and it shut down. And then taking a shower, probably prefer that you don't use the guest bath, because this glass door, that hinge sometimes comes loose, and then the door kind of slides into this wall, and it's tough to open, or it may even slip into the door. So what you want to do is really just use the master bath's tub shower. Using the TV, what you want to do is get the Comcast remote, and down at the bottom here is the input button, and what you can do is change it between Roku and Comcast. And once it's on Comcast, you can use the Comcast remote as normal, self-explanatory, or you can use the button again to change the input to Roku, and then use the Roku control to go home. Press the home button, and then you have all of these different apps that you can use. Sling has all of the channels. Acorn is like a British one. Netflix and Hulu, of course. Showtime, Here TV, Xfinity again, CBS. But what you want to make sure you do is you never exit all the way out of one of these apps, because if you do, you're going to lose the password, and I don't know what the password is for a lot of these. So like here, if you get this message, are you sure you want to exit this app? Always say cancel, because if you do, then you're going to lose the password, and you won't have access to that app until you email me, and I'll try to give you what I think is the password to put it back in again. So just try not to do that. So in the TV room, the input change comes down like this, and you press the input button on the Comcast remote, and you can switch between TV, Comcast, and then just use the Comcast remote, or Roku, and then you use the Roku. And if you need to get out of anything, you just go back with this back arrow. Well, you don't want to exit, so cancel. I mean, if you need to get back to the list of apps, you hit the home button. But if you're stuck in an app, just hit the back button. Like if a movie's playing and you need to stop it and you can't get out, that's kind of like the escape button for Roku. In the bedroom, the input button here, it comes up differently. It's across instead of up and down, and you can check between Roku, Comcast, and into Comcast, just use the Comcast remote. Or if you want to switch back, go to Roku there, and then use the Roku remote. The thermostat is here in the hallway by the front door, over the table. It's pretty simple. It's a Nest. You just press it. It's on a schedule, so you shouldn't have to fool around with it. It should be the right temperature during the day. But if for some reason you're a little cold, just press it, turn it up, turn it down. If you keep on pressing it, you'll get into the menus and stuff like that, so you really don't want to do that. One thing with the thermostat is if you have this lamp underneath it, it is going to affect the temperature. It's going to make it a lot warmer at the thermostat. So you really don't want to have that lamp on, or it's gonna the house will be cool because it'll think it's too hot in the condo.